What's going on, everybody? This is show number, guess what? It's number 20. And we have made it this far. We're going to keep on going.
Big 2-0.
Today's show is titled Fight Night with Mayweather and McGregor fight coming up in August. Also on today's show, we got the Gamecock Insider with Curtis Fry. And we're going to talk a little bit of high school football with assistant coach from Richmond Northeast, Coach Avery Fields. Not just his team, but around the state. So we're looking forward for that. On the table today, we got Chris with the K.
Hey.
We got the other Chris.
What's good?
We got Opie.
What's up?
And like I said earlier, we got Coach Fields on the table today from Richmond Northeast. What's up, Coach?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good, man. We got a lot to talk about as for in the Pick 6 and the No Love segment, which will be brought to you by me. We talk about the Michael Vick and Colin Kaepernick situation. Not much of a situation, but just his comments itself. You know, why does he deserve the No Love segment? So we're going to talk about that later on in the show. First thing first, we're going to talk about the Mayweather and McGregor fight. Like I said, that'll be coming up in August. That'll be on pay-per-view. Everybody's talking about it. McGregor, you know, he has a big mouth on him, of course. And Mayweather, he's just taking the punches. Then we look at their press conferences and how they acting, especially how McGregor is acting. You might be saying, okay, I'm looking forward for this fight. You know, I'm looking to see what's going to happen, what Mayweather going to do. Is he take all this criticism from McGregor and, you know, holding on in until the fight happens? Or is McGregor actually going to be that good when the fight happens? Will he last 12 rounds? Will he last 5 rounds? Will he be able to get past that and stick with Mayweather? All that will be answered when August comes around. So, guys, what do y'all think about the fight coming up and the press conferences that are happening and McGregor's, I say, tactics that he's doing for when he does a press conference and everything?
It's all a setup, in my opinion. They're basically taking a Vince McMahon approach in WWE and incorporating it here. Let's make a spectacle of this. We made it 4 stops. You didn't need 4 stops for this. So let's go to all these places. Let's everybody go back and forth. The networks are making all the ratings from this because they're allowing them to be uncensored and everything else. They love this drama. Like, this is exactly what Showtime wanted. Take Vince McMahon's approach, incorporate it here, draw in all the ratings, $100 for each pay-per-view. I mean, what more could you want?
Are they wrong?
No. That just makes good business sense.
Yeah.
Everything is rigged.
Vince McMahon's been doing WWE for how many years now? And still has the strongest following.
Forever.
30? After he took over from his father?
I mean,
That's what I'm saying. Like, the model works. Keep it going.
I got a question.
yeah.
So do they make the rules and then they agree to the fight? Or do they agree to the fight and then all the rules get made afterwards? Because this seems very lopsided.
Dana Smith wanted this fight to happen. Mayweather wanted the fight to happen before, but I guess when the taxes came to sight, he went, okay, fine, let me go ahead and do it that
When the bills came up.
But I want to see like what Mayweather can actually, like, if he able to conquer McGregor. I would say, okay, end it all. He says he's going to end it all, but he got to say it for sure. He said for the last fight, we fight Pacquiao. He said for the fight before. You know, after this fight, you got the title. End it for sure and go on by your
Not when there's bills. No.
Not when there's bills.
Not
If there's
when
bills,
there's
then that is your fault for that sake. You know?
Excuse me, not bills. Debt.
The debt with a capital D.
That's a different type of bill.
But I mean, with the fight that's coming up, you know, it's like I don't know. It's not the fight of the century. I know that for a fact. But I'm still interested to see what can happen. You got McGregor versus a wild child, shall I say. Then we got Mayweather, who think money is all that makes up the world. So
230. I think they're gonna get their taxes and some after that night. I'm pretty sure he still got an endorsement deal from the ratings. That's why they made the stop so he can make more under the table. So
yeah,
he good.
Yeah. Cause what do you think?
I think that we all need to pay our bills in some way.
I gotta pay mine. You gotta pay yours.
But more importantly, every business needs new participants. We need new followers. We need new money coming in. The marriage of boxing and MMA, there's going to be some crossover dollars from MMA to somebody's going to come back to the boxing industry and say, hey, well, you know, I bought this fight, I'm going to buy the next fight. I mean, it's all about keeping an engaged, active consumer. And I think with all the sensationalism that we have seen in 4 different environments, I think it has created some interest.
No. Well, for the game of boxing, people saying that the game itself is on the decline. With this fight happening, I can see Dan Smith's face all the way. He just smiling the whole
definitely
time.
see that, yeah.
He's like,
Right.
because this is like, if this fight does not happen, then what else going to happen?
Right.
Who's the other big names? There's plenty of good names out there, but who's going to be that next Mayweather? Who's going to be that next Pacquiao? Who's going to be that next person to actually draw a big crowd to say, "Hey, I want to buy this fight. I want to see what's going to happen."
That Canelo Triple G fight is coming out September 26th.
And that's going to be, okay, so that is really the precursor to bring over some of the crossover.
Exactly.
True.
To make you come back and buy it. But we must study history to know where we've been to where we're going. And I can remember some years ago, there was this fight in Atlantic City, and this guy named Trump owned a hotel that hosted the Mike Tyson Spinks fight. And there were a lot of people who actually missed the fight because they were doing other things, and they thought that it was going to go for a long period of time, and I think it was one of the shortest fights that had ever occurred. Well, we might be headed for that again.
I don't know. I mean,
I agree.
I hope it lasts more than 6 rounds. I think that would be a great fight.
I doubt it.
I doubt if that's going to happen. One, I'm curious to see what McGregor does in a boxing ring. I know what he could do in the ring itself. But in the boxing ring, that's going to be something that I'm interested in seeing. Mayweather, on the other hand, I saw a couple fights of his, especially one against Pacquiao. And my first opinion when I first saw it, or when I was looking at the fight, is why is he running around too much? Is that a strategy he was trying to do, get him tired in that kind of way?
You really want to know what the fight's going to look like?
Tell me.
Okay. You've seen the last 3 fights of Floyd Mayweather, right?
Yeah.
And these are guys that's been boxing pretty much their whole career.
Pretty good chance, yeah.
So imagine 6 months of experience and not knowing how to fight in a boxing setting without the natural footing, knowing how to set somebody up, where to punch, when to punch, ordeal. And then you're talking about, 12 rounds, 10 rounds?
12 rounds.
Instead of 4? Or how many? So just imagine that. And somebody that's undefeated, who's been getting people's best shot for the last better 20 years. So, yeah, it that's what the people wanted. Yeah, good. But anybody that's boxing expert is, I don't know how to box expert. It's just, that's telling me you're going to take a street ball and put them in a game of basketball and try to, and they expect them to.
Because Connor's a distance fighter. You got to think, he has a chance to space out and set up in MMA to come towards you. Floyd's fighting right up on you, like in close proximity to you. You're not going to get a chance to just come all the way back and then come at. It's not going to work that way.
Who said it was a setup? Opie or Chris?
Yeah, I said a setup. No,
Like it was kind of set up. Like there's a goal for it to happen. You had to fight.
Yeah, it is.
Money.
Did you know? I don't know this record. So Mayweather's record is 49-0.
Yep.
The only other boxer that's achieved that record is Rocky.
Brazil.
So if he wins, then he's surpassed.
He's one up.
So maybe it's just
But some people don't
an
want to.
interesting match to help him achieve something great and maybe get some money to pay his bills.
Should this have an asterisk next to it?
Why?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you think so?
This is not a real boxer.
It's still a fight. He challenged him. I say take it. Give it to him.
Me and you can fight right here on the show. We're not.
I'm just kidding.
So give me some
Like,
bell
it's
rings.
not
Give
the same.
me some gloves and stuff.
You don't want that smoke.
I'll be the ref.
Of the 49
You hit me, you're out.
of the 49 wins that Floyd has, how many of them have been knockouts?
I think only
The
20?
first 20 is
Been a long time.
Been a long time.
In a minute.
I mean, you tell the age has
It's been
got
longer than a minute.
good factor of him over the years. Same time, he got to still know who his father is, the other Mayweather, and he's probably taking some pointers of how to actually box when you get older.
Floyd, and then not to mention his uncle Roger.
Yeah.
Listen, they are a fighting family.
Ooh.
They have been in this game for a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when Roger was fined some years ago, and the boxing commission charged him $250,000, and he wrote a check right there. No problem. So
Goals.
yeah, I mean, they're established.
Oh, yeah. When we come back from commercial break, we'll have the Pick 6 topics. We'll talk high school football, the SEC AC Media Days they have over the week, and breaking news for all the great Panthers fans. This GM Dave gentleman is so we'll have all that and more. We'll come back. Stay tuned. But you're right about that, Coach. I totally agree with that.
Oh man, he gonna get ate up.
Hey,
I wonder if he forgets.
Hey, Coach, do me a favor. Put your mic like this so you can talk directly into it.
I apologize.
I think they should take bets.
I'm not used to media.
They should take bets on how bad he get
Yeah,
beat.
just bring up some more.
And not if he's gonna get beat.
Or get knocked out. He's gonna get
Am I
beat.
good now? Am I good?
Just how long the distance of the beating will be.
Good.
Commercial breaking.
I'll be
How
surprised
long?
if this goes a full 4 rounds.
Hey, did you share that on my page?
I think
It's just like when I was looking at the,
you shared it on the page.
I used to watch.
I can't find it on here. Nah,
What?
I'm gonna do it this way.
I think he get beat the whole 12 rounds.
Yeah, just
I would.
when I was looking at I was reading this article.
You call him a monkey, ain't it?
Ooh, did he?
I don't know.
Boy, he called him a boy. He called him a boy.
Oh, but that's
plenty of
but he's
times.
Irish.
Plenty of times.
I-
And that a little bit said.
Look.
He's
here-
Irish.
I'm
That's
instigating.
not really.
You know the marches that happen?
I'm an instigator.
He's Irish.
Oh, he called you
Show
boy.
the picture on Facebook. You see,
Boy is a
Boy.
Irish
That's what
is
pictures
Irish
of. You see,
terminology.
you got
Don't matter. We
The
black.
hand, the
They
face.
know that. Just like I know your Irish roots, you know my black culture.
I don't know nothing
call
about
me
Irish.
boy.
I know leprechaun.
You see the pictures here? You got
Leprechaun
the
in
hand,
the hood or
face.
something.
You see them yelling, having a good old time.
Boy.
Calling boy.
They know what that means. They
But,
read.
but they were on the same plane going to all 4 events.
Yeah. Come on.
Pretty much.
So, Coach, when you and I ride the same bus to the game, we probably going
We already know the game plan.
me and you was on the same side every time we rode the bus together.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And we saw plenty of stuff.
We saw a lot.
Stuff we don't need to be seen, actually.
Exactly.
Call you boy. Don't worry about it. All right,
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah, I'm not
Aye, boy.
I'm not gonna name the schools, but they know who they are. So,
Boy.
But
Boy. Hey, man. Y'all gonna leave my boy Vic alone. I got to say that while we on there.
I ain't gonna go too hard on Vic. I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, it's the time and place for stuff like that.
Once again, I say this: your camp and Whitlock is a coon, Uncle Tom, sucker.
But you'd be more than glad to share that on No Love Salmon, so we'll have a good time with that part. Welcome back to the Walk-Ons. Make sure you share and follow us. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube Live, Facebook, all that good stuff. So make sure you look for us. If you got any questions throughout the show, if you got any comments or whatnot, make sure you send them in. We're going to be answering them throughout the show. So make sure you do all you can do and send those in now. All right, let's go ahead and go to topic number 1. High school media days was over the weekend here in South Carolina. All the top commits and other schools from around the state came to the Carolina practice facility. Among those was South Point's number 1 prospect, Darian Kendrick. And then also from Spring Valley, you have Channing Tyndall, Gamecock prospect. He's number 3 in the state. What does this say about high school football? Like, would this be an up year for them, or would this be more to say, hey, South Carolina football is still up on the uprise to represent in other areas?
I'm sorry, we always a powerhouse when it comes to football. I mean,
Oh yeah,
This is the South.
I mean, that's just what we do. It's just
We
football.
bleed football.
Yeah, that's it. Let's get it. We gonna get it. Go get it.
yeah, Coach.
Marcus, I want to thank you again for having me on.
No
First
problem,
of all, but I want to tell you, I think this is going to be one of the most exciting years that we've had in high school football in quite some time. I think we're getting ready to hit another level with some of the recruits that we have here in our state. I mean, like you said, we've always been a powerhouse. We've always produced a lot of great players. But I think we're getting ready to go into another level of top echelon players. And I think that a lot of that has to do with the coaching that is in this state. We have some of the finest high school coaches. We have some of the finest assistant coaches in the country right here in our state. So I look for a very, very explosive year.
I say this. I say it's the culture is starting to change. Michael Lattimore, Jadavian Clowney, that class. I say, prove that you can stay home.
Exactly.
Prove that you can win home, or you can come back and give back. And with that being said, now it's a culture of, man, why would I want to go somewhere else? when I got this, and then you got guys giving back to their high school, their
Exactly.
alma mater, and that's building a. We always been down because where we at, we're in between North Carolina, Florida, and Georgia. States 10 million or better of people.
That's pretty much the
population.
jackpot of sports, not just in football, but also in basketball.
So we always been behind with that. So that being said, now you got us getting maybe catching up on technology. We winning, the women's winning, national all that is fuel to the fire of saying, hey man, let's put back in our community. Let's
Exactly.
give what we got. Let's see what we can do if we actually come together and do something.
Exactly. Intensity breeds performance,
Oh, yeah.
and competition breeds, excellence. And we're seeing that. I mean, I just told someone Sunday that we're getting ready to really see, probably in the next 6 years, a series of linebackers come out of these 34 schools
Oh, yeah.
here in the Midlands that are going to be just dominant. And I think a lot of that has to do with the individual coaching that is being done by a lot of trainers out there, like Kevin Washington and different DL trainers that are out there. I mean, elite position training is the future.
Oh, yeah.
Elite position
Yeah.
training is now.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel we go forward moving with the process of knowing that, let's say you got Michael Lattimore that went to USC, that's from here in town, that's now coaching, and just that echelon of just moving coaches and players so that they have a form to go, whether it's go to Clemson, whether it's go to USC, just to have that platform so they can, grow.
It is a foundation for a springboard for going to higher heights. Marcus is going to have a great effect on private school football and football in general here. Ben Lippen is
on the
growing.
rise, yeah.
Yeah, it's on the rise. I mean, they've got they've got a few marquee games that they're going at, but their players looked very well when they came into the building the other
Oh
day.
yeah. Speaking of Bill Lippin, go ahead, Kristen.
Hey, So we are, well, I say we because I coach at Ben Lippen, coach basketball and track at Ben
FYI.
Lippen. Yes, for those of you who didn't know that. So we are opening our season, I believe it's the 18th, which is, on the 18th. And we are facing a team from Florida who has actually won their last two championships in their division. I'm very excited about this. I'm very excited about for our guys. I'm very excited about for our coach. And our coach's mindset is, when you are striving to be at the top, it's very seldom that you're not going to interact with somebody who's already up there.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't get up there just by chance. You don't get up there by
I remember
small
when
people.
I was in high school playing football. No offense, Kristen, but Ben Lippen was the laughing stock of
No, I went to
I ain't gonna
Heathwood,
lie.
and Ben Lippen was never a school that we were worried about. And to
Oh, no.
see what Derek White has done with our program,
Yeah.
has been
Ben
amazing.
who?
He's won. They
Being who?
don't.
Hey, look.
We won our. Last year we won our first ever state championship in football.
Yeah, you see
Which
that picture
was huge. It was huge. I was there actually.
You were?
I was so excited.
Yeah.
I tried to run down on the field, but security stopped me. So
That's good.
I just went back up.
Look,
I just
like Chris know, because he played football. I mean, Ben Lippen was that school that, and White know, we experienced that before. Ben Lippen was that
White know.
school
They get that W.
everybody
You mark
put
a W on
for
the
that
schedule.
homecoming game.
it was a guaranteed
Ben Lippen-
win.
Ben
It
Lippen
was the
the
guaranteed win.
Look,
Bruins.
It was a
Ben
guaranteed
Lippen and LR.
Yes,
And
especially
BC.
low risk.
Like it was
And
the.
BC.
Yeah, we're gonna say it
But-
right there. Yeah.
Oh, y'all gonna have
It's changed.
My
That's
cousin
changed.
Kazarius Adams will be going to. Y'all will watch that name at BC. All you college coaches beware of that name, Kazarius Adams.
BC's on the rise too, by the way. They went
yeah.
to the playoffs last year. We to Laura State, I believe.
Yeah.
Once we graduated, now they can actually play.
Oh yeah.
Oh, listen,
But-
that's what I say too. I ain't
let
got want to
people
be
know.
good when I'm gone.
But that you speak about the evolution of these programs.
Oh yeah.
Well, what is causing for the change? Okay, what's improving? What's newer?
You can
What's
see they got a new stadium over the years. BC got a new stadium.
Great
Ben Lippen
stadium.
got some more prospects coming because they got a bigger, better area now.
right?
LR is coming around the corner. You got all these other teams that were not as good back in the day. It's just like in college football. Duke was not that good, but now they consider one of the contenders, not for
Right.
the AC championship, but contenders to compete in
Definitely
the
a bold,
ACC.
definitely a bold,
Yeah.
bold.
Which makes the
This
ACC
is-
even better.
Yeah, this what is related to high school. You got these teams now who is now evolutionized from the past to now to where they are now considered contenders
Exactly.
in high school football now. And that's pretty much good because, like I said, South Carolina is now considered more, if it wasn't a powerhouse then, it's more of a powerhouse now because other teams are now getting better.
You know, I go back to the 2015 season where one of the favorite things that you and I used to talk about on Mondays was the calls on Saturday night after certain games, after certain losses. Look at the change.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you bring in a different coach who has a appeal to the high school coach. This, you know, he understands where his feeder system is and that he had to cultivate all of the high schools that are in the area.
Yeah.
And he's, you know, he price point his camp at $20. And so, you know, some guys have gone 5 times in the summer, been at every one, and you're getting a better athlete. You're getting a more in-tuned athlete, and they are more driven to perform. So when the high school coach gets that kid back, you know, in our weight room, this kid's motivated. He's digging and driving towards something, and that's one of the things that I've seen this summer.
Yeah.
You know, kids are really
it's more
motivated.
of a motivation factor.
Right.
And it comes from who is there.
Right.
They got Heathwood Hall. They got Marcus Lamore now.
Right.
That's going to help boost another Ben Lippin.
Right.
In the way.
Right.
Heathwood Hall's not has been that great. Now they got some. Well, I mean, you say it like that, but still, I mean, it's the school. But they got Marcus
it's a
Lamore.
step
That
in the right
gives them
direction.
some motivation.
Heath who?
I mean, like you said, we weren't that great, and we got
They
one.
did
It took
have a
one
little
coaching
talent.
change.
The same thing for White Note too. We wasn't that great, but
Listen.
now look at them.
Took one.
We beat Lexington though. What up?
They.
You look at a Channing Tindall and how he's blossomed in over
Oh,
a
yeah.
year. You know,
I remember him. Yeah.
we both remember him, and you know, always was a fine young man, a great,
Very
young man.
level-headed.
very level-headed. You know, not a braggadocious type individual, but guess what? When that ball is blown for ready for play,
Oh yeah.
he's coming at you. You
Oh,
know, he's a great guy,
Big time.
guy. Reminds me a little bit of how TJ was for us.
Yeah, T.J. Blunson, the linebacker for South Carolina Gamecocks, former linebacker for Richmond Northeast. When we come back, we got Curtis Frye. We're going to have the Gamecock Insider, so make sure you stay tuned for that right here on the Walk-Ons.
So, what do y'all think of Josh's comment? That
Josh said-
sometimes keeping in-state talent home is overrated.
Sometimes.
He said Clemson won a national championship with star players from other states, and then with Clowney, Gilmore, and them, they didn't provide all the big wins that they should.
I think that's just the lasting effects from the past, though. They, you know, like in the early 2000s, you had to go out of state to find talent. Now we're in an era now where we can look at more in-state talent to win championships.
Who was the quarterback though for when the Davian
Who was it with Clowney?
Connor.
Shaw?
Shout out to Connor, great guy.
I miss Connor.
You seen the comments?
No, I don't.
Actually, I got
Felicia Jenkins keep talking to you
What'd she say?
a lot,
she just you got to read it.
a lot.
You might need to take your phone off because it keeps on vibrating. Yeah.
Coach, I got a question for you.
Yes, me.
So, Joshua Boyd said something. I was reading through the comments. He said something that was very interesting. He said, sometimes keeping in-state talent home is overrated. Clemson winning national championships with star players from other states, Clowney, Lattimore, Gilmore, and others, were good, but didn't really provide the big wins that they should have. Would you agree or disagree with the statement that that is just a starting place, so that when we do have these bigger name players that decide to stay home, that this was the foundation, or whenever we have this like nationally known player, is when they decide to stay home, it will have started with other smaller
I don't.
players.
Let me put it this way. I don't believe that it has to be an out-of-state group to come in here and teach us how to win. I think what we've had, the problem is that for so many years at both the upstate and here, we've overlooked all of the homegrown talent. And we didn't have the vehicle. It's almost like with Formula One racing and NASCAR, you got to have the fast car built in order to have a championship driver in it to go. And so I'm of the mindset that we've had the champions here all along.
Ooh, I agree. Welcome back, everybody, to our 20th show. We're talking about fight night and high school football.
You say like it's just
Like it was a big thing. Like it was supposed to be.
Y'all should have told me.
I just like the way fight night sounds. Like fight night. Oh, you want to see that?
Y'all should have told me about. Y'all should've
But
told
I
me
don't really want to see the other one. Well, we're really talking about high school football right now.
You should have told me about these remarks.
Oh,
What for?
What are you talking about?
Because it ties into why some people don't stay home. Me personally, why I didn't stay home was because I felt like it was a better offer to go elsewhere. Didn't feel love to be here, so I went elsewhere. And what somebody's asking me is a real dear close friend of mine is, the people that do stay, what do they get? I get that it's another topic, another conversation. People getting free educations, but at the end of the day, I brought you millions to your university, to my home state, et cetera, et cetera. I.e. Sean Gortman, who played and could have went elsewhere. She was a phenomenal basketball player, and she's doing I Dream. I helped her. We went to the AAU circuit. Some girls that are going to be top prospects for USC women's, which would probably continue that echelon.
Right.
And our livelihood of what are we doing now?
Right.
Compared to other people that go to other states or stay home, or I'm homegrown. I went to Columbia High, et cetera, et cetera. So.
Right.
What are people doing for us? And that's the biggest thing with the community, and I think that ties into what are we doing. Of course, Michael Lattimore got the Heathwood job, congratulations, et cetera, but I'm from right here.
Right.
So, that's another topic, so we can go to the next thing. I just wanted to answer Felicia's question.
My bad. We just writing down notes.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I want to get in on this.
Uh-oh.
But
Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. Hold on, Coach. Hold on,
bring
Coach.
this back. But
Hold on, Coach. We got to introduce you first before you just jump on in.
Oh, shoot, that right there can't drop off. Man, oh, man. No. You can't get me going. Hey, look, I'll introduce me. I'm Coach Fry at University of South Carolina and homegrown talent. I want to talk about this, but that's a good one, and why they leave and why they ought to stay.
But that's different. It's different from a player's perspective. Wanting to stay home is completely different than coaches pursuing their homegrown kids.
But that's one of the reasons.
It's completely different.
Most athletes are very at that age. As a junior, I'm very aware. I'm cerebral because I got to know my class. I got to know what's my GPA. I got to know what teacher not to.
A lot of people don't know that.
Disturb so I don't get in trouble. So as an athlete, I'm very aware of my students, who does what, who does not do what. So as a student athlete, I was aware of who wanted me. Yeah, I want to stay home, but what's my life gonna look like if I stay? What's my circumstances? Who am I around? Where am I from? Where do I come from? So, and you got me now, 35. Like, what are these? Like, when you look at guys that were the top of their cities or their towns, what are they doing in their city or their respective town now at their age, and the phenomenal success they had when they was in high school? So, are we as a community doing our diligence? That's my question, and that's
Coach Fry, what do you think about that, Coach?
Hey, my answer is it's a long time since you heard of Alex English. But he had a brand. He established one that he could continue a career with. Going out of state while you have an established brand in a community isn't going to immediately feed you when you're 25 or 24. But I can guarantee you, if you take your brand to some place that you're not going to live and your family doesn't live, I know what that is. That is a no brand. You have to establish one in Chicago. You have to establish one even if you go to Notre Dame. Going back down to Myrtle Beach after coming from Notre Dame, it says Notre Dame, but you lost that branding time that you were there. Now, many years ago, people didn't have the kind of resources nor facilities nor the desire. Now, we do live in a state that had a flag. It had a reputation for it put every person that is of color in this state, and not understanding that they felt like their lives are influenced by whether they get a job, their daddy, whether he incarcerated, or the community where they live is influenced by the state institutions. So in turn, you have to overcome that, but not that the other states didn't have the same kind of political impact, which didn't affect a student from the state of South Carolina. But every day you had to look at that. Those things are minimizing themselves. The big thing is now, can you make people money? And afterwards, do you have a brand after you have made them their money? Do they return on your brand? I promise you, Clowney can get a return on his brand. I promise you that Ingram or any of those kids that from upstate that play football here in Carolina got a bigger chance on their brand that they established in the NFL and at their state institution than people who left this state. So that's That's 10 cents.
That's valuable. I believe that 10 cents is going to turn into $10. I mean, you know, it's twofold, and I agree with Coach empirically in this point. You do well in high school, you stay at home and play, you have an opportunity to put more people in the stands. I think we went through a period of turnover here with the University of South Carolina where you had season ticket holders turned over, and I think that you saw new entrants come into being season ticket holders at the University of South Carolina. And I think that you got newer fans, and I think that some of those people that came in and started buying season tickets, if they weren't related to some players, they watched some of the players that we've had that have played here in Columbia in their respective towns, and I think that we've all benefited from that.
True.
Yeah.
I can name you a number of players that played with my son in football. And in basketball, very few. The guys who went away, the kid that went to University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill.
Which one, Seven or Bryce Johnson?
Seven would.
We'll go back a little later. The one from Latta.
Mark, what's his name? He played on Raymond Felton.
Raymond Felton had a great brand, and Chapel Hill can take it because it as an institution has a basketball brand. It's hard to overcome brands in basketball. The Kentucky, I get leaving to go to Kentucky. I get leaving to go to Chapel Hill. At Duke, their brands are established such that no matter where you go in basketball, the biggest brand, what you can do is get to the league because that makes more money than 40 years worth of owning McDonald's.
True.
So you can establish yourself by doing that. But some of the other decisions of going to George Mason or going to a no brand. I get to go to Texas on a transfer by a kid. I got that one. But I don't get when you see somebody from South Carolina who can play, jump, run, throw, get with non-brand schools.
Depending on everybody's circumstances are different. Everybody, they rating what position they play is all different. What sport they play, football, basketball. Football, you can have 60 to 80 players on the team.
85-man roster.
I think they are failing to understand that, let's say, for example, Zion does decide to go to South Carolina.
I can't talk about that now.
I know that. No. I know you can't say nothing. But let's say Zion decides to go to, let's change up a little bit. Let's say a particular player,
Louisville,
decides to go to South Carolina. All right. Even though you got Kentucky, Duke, you got all the other teams that he could go to. Why are some of these players failing to understand that they can actually be the actual better their brand if they turn a team around, like a South Carolina?
Well, I think what separates right now basketball.
Basketball and football is whole two different things.
And here's the thing, though. With the AAU circuit, they were talking about this on another show yesterday on ESPN. The top players are talking to each other every weekend. We just had Peace Jam here not too long ago. Mm-hmm. So those guys are now trying to create these super freshman lists to go in and try to exploit their one and dones or what have you. But they're not really. We still, that we're not going to always see these freshmen come together and win the whole tournament because you got to have grizzly veterans here. And I'm going to go back to what Coach was saying about when CJ came here, under Coach Holt's regime and when they came in, I think that group of freshmen when they came in changed a lot for the University of South Carolina in that they won back-to-back bowl games. They set up everything to win back-to-back bowl games. I still say that those teams catapult the program and set building blocks for the Coach Spurrier years. And when we end up getting Clowney and some of the other players.
Mm-hmm. We will continue this conversation after the commercial break. Coach probably going to stay with us. We will talk more about this particular topic, and we will. But we will come back. We will continue this conversation. So make sure you share. Make sure you send your comments, any questions to us in the comment box. We promise we will answer them. So go ahead and send those in. We'll be back after this commercial break.
It's one of them situations where me, myself personally, and people that's been around this city, especially where we from, it begins to become okay, if that's the case, and you're stating that, then what about what happened to when Odom was here and won 2, NITs back to back? I mean, those are no small accolades.
Odom did help turn this basketball
program around.
I ain't gonna disagree.
Well, it's not Coach Odom.
It went backward. Backward, but there was some personal things between people with Fogler, with Coach Odoms. When you get in conflict administratively and stuff like that, then things can't keep going forward. It was building the arena. It was attracting alumni that made contributions. There's so many things that retard progress.
Coach Fry, I hate to cut you off. And my biggest question, because you as an innovator, you as a different person that you've been around, you've changed, the whole spectrum of how we view track. You've been on top of your echelon type of coach, and you're just not getting your due diligence. I'm talking about as a coach, for me seeing it on different levels, me being a player, not being a mentor, not trying to get into the world of coaching. You need the administrator to be on the same track, and I've always said this as a young and now me being as a young man that's becoming a man, older man. I'm sorry. It becomes, are the administrator ready to make that change? I mean, Carolina Panthers wanted to bring Carolina Panthers here, to Columbia. So are we ready as a community? Because that comes with great responsibility. You're talking about in infrastructure. You're talking about buildings. You're talking about building up a community. You're talking about et cetera, millions and millions of dollars.
But right now, Columbia is playing comeback game right now.
The thing that happens with that is over the years, there have been guidelines, bylaws, and things that when an administrator makes a decision, he don't make a decision. There's a umbrella of people that cover the philosophy of an institution. I've been to 5 of them. And I used to think that the administrator single-handedly determined the success of a department, and that's so far from the truth. If that administrator doesn't align himself with...
My bad, Coach.
What?
They got a 7-panel board of trustees, and he got a court for them to make sure if he want to make a change, just to paint the inside of a building. If it's like having Supreme Court. If 4 people don't like him, and every time anything he gets ready to do, he can't move forward. The president can't move forward. So that's all I've been saying. Detail about a basketball player.
But like you said, Opie, it's like
are they ready
Carolina Panthers trying to move here before, and
are they ready?
I forgot who the president was at the time.
He's from Spartanburg. He went to school.
But I say his roots, like, okay, this is South Carolina, this is Gamecock country. Fine and dandy, but at the same time, he got to look at the future. I think that he failed to look at the future, and that's what prevented us from having the success that Columbia could have had back in the day.
I think Dr. McGee really made a good decision based on the data that he had. When you're fighting for a ticket purchaser, when you're talking about somebody going to a game, the Cowboys are coming to town, the Raiders are coming to town. Am I going to buy my Gamecock ticket this week, or am I going to buy my Raiders-Panthers ticket?
Yeah,
and when we start to fight for ticket dollars, then your guesstimation is different. Now, hindsight, maybe we can criticize Dr. McGee for the decision, but I would rather stand with him and say that when you do dollars and cents, you're gonna do what makes sense.
True.
Yeah. Hindsight's 2020, but at that time that made sense, so he went with that.
It was the greatest decision could have been made because of other things that have been made. He could not compete in the SEC without having the total command of his city.
Right.
And second thing he couldn't do is he couldn't change seat assignments.
Right.
And so he had to build skyboxes.
Right.
Because people had tickets that had lifetime on the ticket.
Yep.
They paid $35 plus $300, and that seat was 50-yard line.
Yep.
So he had to establish them wanting to buy a new place by going up into the skybox. The next AD had to come around and establish the same thing that Clemson had. They got IPTAY. Well, he had to establish a ticket order where people had to repurchase their rights to ticket licensing. and then until he made everybody mad because he changed the seating in the stadium, so that he could build new structures so that you could be competitive athletically. Everybody has an agenda. Athletes are only all they are is a billboard.
And Coach, you know, a lot of those people did die, but, you know, they had death certificates, but they still purchased their tickets miraculously every year for the Gamecocks.
Exactly.
They're there in spirit, Coach. Gamecock spirit.
No, they signed something that had their grandfather passed that on to the son. The son passed that on.
Wow.
From 1950, passed that seating on
Wow.
to his
Deep rooted,
grandson. So that's why you have the largest following in a losing season.
Right.
0-11 and 11-1, 1-11 is you had to sell out stadium.
Yeah.
Is because they were cheap tickets and they were licensed to be. So one guy took a big loss, and that was Eric Hyman.
Right.
He pissed everybody off, and then it's moved forward. But those things have to be done at every institution, because Florida had already licensed their place. The whole SEC was. South Carolina is now on even footing with everybody, so they can treat their student in the state, the people in the state, the right way, with the right facilities and with the right kind of support.
But for them to be inside the SEC since 1992 and playing catch-up game with Georgia's and Florida and Tennessee, all them, I won't say they're late to the game, but they actually played a good catch-up game by getting new facilities, a bigger brand, better coaches, I say. So, you know, I'll say we're back on the right foot. Still got ways to go, though.
Yeah.
Oh, heck.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
but
Ways to go is a fact.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah,
that-
I got a long way.
Don Staley and that basketball team, we were 50%. It took us the last 20 years to get 50% even. Exposure in this year, I'm going to tell you, it moved us internationally. It moved us, our academic people seeing us around the world differently. Visualization. It costs for the advertisement. It costs $30 million for you to get those 30-minute advertisement slots. Well, and when you play basketball in a Final Four, they've got 50 of those advertisements in a 2.5-hour period. So when you go all the way to play the national championships, how many times did South Carolina fit in an advertisement? You can't purchase that. We are now, I would say, 85% in exposure to the rest of the country, positive exposure. So we undone the flag. We undone the killing of people down in a church in Charleston. Right now, all we got to do is get our community to understand being at home is a pride state, because the rest of the people want to come here.
True.
10,000 people a month move south.
Yeah.
We better get with it. They coming to get what we already established. So you can leave the state if you want. Somebody gonna take your place and get all the benefits that we've paid all these years in.
Our dues, Coach. And Frank Martin did too. So you had both. You got to think about it. We had both, man. That was a major accomplishment.
Oh, yeah.
Both men's
You
and
can't
women's.
pay for that.
Yeah, that's big. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm staying home so I get my
Nobody
40 acres of
Nobody
mule.
watches a track meet on TV. Nobody watched.
I watch it once,
half
though,
of the
I
community.
watch, Coach.
I watch it once.
Occasionally.
Coach.
I love the women's relay.
Half of the community watched us win 2 baseball back-to-backs.
Yeah.
But when you talk about basketball, what they did, they drew audience, even the football crowd, the basketball crowd, the baseball crowd, and the track crowd, the volleyball. Everybody followed this phenomenon for a 3-week period.
Hey, Coach, we got to wrap it up, though. But at the same time, I do, I say we come because I do remember when women basketball first started with Don State, we was so happy to have 2,000 people in the arena. that was like,
ecstatic,
that
bro.
was bring the confetti, bring the championship trophy. We got 2,000 people. Now we selling out arenas left and right. And thanks to Don State and Frank Martin and, you know, Steve Spurrier is here. He was selling out football stands and Munchap. You know, he's going to make the work do. So I believe Gamecock Athletics is back on the right track. Coach, we must continue this conversation on next Tuesday. Though we do got a lot to talk about. We might got to make a whole show just for you.
For real.
What do you think?
I think that's it. He should be in this chair right here.
Yeah, well, we
I'd
got-
much rather hear what he has
Come
to
on,
say.
man.
than
Come on, man. We got you.
Fry shake.
Through, coach.
Come on, we got you.
We got you. We pay for your gas.
Call it a large fry show.
Oh, God, I get to meet you?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm on. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, Coach. We talk to you next week.
Bye.
All right. Curtis Fry.
I'm with you, Josh.
We got to get him like
watch every
in the
episode.
studio.
Championship good, that man is. Championship good.
Championship
yes.
good. Speaking of championship good, we got championship time left, so let's go ahead and go straight to topic number 3. I know time is going by for us, but we're gonna make it work. With us today, we got assistant coach, and I forgot
You
all that.
forgot.
You do all kind of other stuff, Coach, but I know the assistant coach for Rich Northeast, Coach Avery Fields. Welcome to the table once again. So what we got going on for Rich Northeast, I know last year they had a pretty good season. I just go ahead and say right now, I used to coach at AC Florida, so I was looking forward to playing y'all throughout the whole season. We had the game circled.
Yeah, I think I've pretty much figured out that you all have circled on your calendar.
We was ready. But
And let me say this, Coach, you all gave us the toughest game last year. I believe it was 7-3.
7-3.
Exactly.
And I believe the score happened from a turnover.
That's right. That's right. So I am fully aware that AC floors are out there, and I think that our players are fully aware, and they are aware of the fact that, per se, every Friday night we're getting everybody's best shot because of the tradition that's been there. We transitioning from Coach Jay Fry, who's been a mentor to me, a big brother, a great friend, and I'm
Coach
grateful.
was there for over 20 years.
Yeah, I'm grateful for him giving me my opportunity, and I'm also grateful to Bennett Weigel, who has retained me, and I'm very happy for that. And that makes me work a little bit harder because when you're working for your friend, you want to see your friends be successful.
Knowing Coach Waggle, he's more of a player's coach.
Yeah.
And I think we're in an era now where more player coaches is needed here. Especially I know Richfield, they got their coach. He's a player coach. White No, all that good stuff. So I think that'd be more, especially the community that Richmond Northeast is in.
Yes.
I think that'd be better for them as they continue to grow and be back to the team they were before. Kind of when I was at White No, Arnie was not nothing to mess with.
Right.
On 55 points a game.
Right.
In scrimmages, in practices.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me.
But Rich Northeast is back on the rise, so that's a good thing. Tell me about the team coming up this year.
Well, we're very excited. We have a great group of young men that are gelling and coming to, right at the boiling point. We've got a great nucleus on offense and a great nucleus on defense. So, we've got the type of young men that we really want to be around. It's exciting to watch Coach Weigel step his game up at another level and be the head man. Like I said, it's a joy to work for him and be around him, and I'm looking forward to this season. We've got some the Hills brothers, Jaquan,
Lovey Hills,
and Jaquan and Javon. So we're looking forward to
Javon. All right.
Awesome. We'll come back for a commercial break. We're going to continue our conversation with Coach Fields about the R&E season coming up and his take on high school football. Even though we had that take already, we're going to talk about the players, top players in the state, what to look for from them, from South Point, Spring Valley, all that good stuff. So stay tuned right here on the Walk-Ons.
Who your headhunters on defense? Who go get?
Jalen Tarver, Keon Johnson, and Javon Hills are big hitters.
Okay.
Those lights
The
out
names
type
to look
players.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like.
I'm gonna be around. I'm gonna
I like the hit.
start checking a couple of games. So I guess this is where I'll start in Northeast.
Hey, we need you,
Going.
and please, by all means, come.
I'll be out there.
We need fan support.
We're going to do a show from there.
Hey, I'd love
Oh
to
my
have
goodness. Let me run around, chase you on the sideline,
Yeah,
coach.
yeah.
Coach, just say to
I
that
got the
player.
ball, coach. Give me the ball, coach. What boy, go, coach.
The
ball, coach.
Quality.
Really?
What quality?
Coach, who you got on your list that we're going to talk about today for top prospects? in
What
the
you
state?
said?
For South Point, I've got Darion Kendrick, of course. I've got Vashawn St. Hill.
Joe Biden.
I've got Stephen Gilmore Jr.,
Everybody knows him.
Scott Robinson,
Okay.
strong safety. Jamari Currents, Elijah Adams. That's for South Point. Spring Valley, I've got Keandre Jones and Channing Tyndall. At WJ Keenan, I've got Zion Thurman, Chris Reed, and DeMontre Smith. Westwood, I've got Elijah Heatley, Kayshawn Mitchell, Arden McCoy, Tyler Hosey, Bryce Harkness, and Jalir Freeman. You remember Freeman? 47?
I remember Freeman.
Yeah.
I'm getting tired of him.
Mateo.
Jaden Brunson at Blythewood. Those were just some of the top ones. I didn't know which way we were going to go with that.
That's cool.
So,
That's cool.
you know, hey, but I can't leave out my guys.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead and put a big old list out.
Yeah, you know.
Got the book over there.
Oh, yeah. Give me some names, Coach, for that one, Coach.
For Northeast, Keon Johnson. Javon Hills. Jaquan Hills. Tawante Wallace. You remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Tawante Wallace. Charles Simmons.
Okay, we're going to talk about that, too.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome back to the Walk-Ons. Chris, you want to bring us back in?
No, not at all.
Okay, cool.
I'm just kidding. Welcome back.
I should be going.
Welcome back to the Walk-Ons. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media outlets. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat,
Periscope.
YouTube. I don't know if that counts as social media, but follow us on that too.
Close up.
And Periscope and Twitch. Did I say Twitch?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I word twitched and said it twice.
That all worked.
We were talking about high school football.
Yeah, and we'll talk about Richmond Northeast football, the upcoming season. They got new uniforms. They got new helmets. New coats. So everything's looking good for Richmond Northeast. What else you got to tell us about Richmond Northeast this upcoming season?
Well, you know, like I said, we've got a nice nucleus of players, and we've got a real dynamic head coach. With a good nucleus and a dynamic head coach, I think you have the key component for having a great season. Charles Simmons is coming back as our quarterback, and he has experience at the position. Tawante Wallace is coming back as a running back. He has experience at the position.
Now, he developed over the years now. I remember Tawante, he was a hard worker as for getting to be as a better football player.
Yes, he's very dedicated, and he really wants to get the accolades, but he believes in doing the work before receiving the accolades, and I think that's really testament to his development. He's not looking for anything to be given to him. He wants to do the work, and you can see that in his approach in the weight room.
True.
So, we've got some guys coming in on the line, and Jaquan Hills is the receiver of choice. He's going to do some big things. And then you go over on the defensive side of the ball, Jalen Tarver, Keon Johnson, Javon Hills. So we've got some players that are going to be leaders who've been very dedicated in the weight room, who embrace what Coach Weigel is saying, and they are all on board to go out and perform. And I think that is what's key. That's what is exciting me about this season.
Awesome. Now, y'all do have, I know last year had a tough schedule. One of those teams were South Point. Tell me about some of the players they got on their teams that could also cause some noise around the state.
Well, that South Point team looks like it could possibly be in the AFC North, to be honest with you.
Take on the Colts and them.
Yeah, I mean,
I think they probably get a closer one for their money because they do got some stacked players for them.
They really do. When you look at a guy like Darion Kendrick, when I first saw this young man play, he was playing defense. And now he's on offense and he's equally great, and he's already pretty much committed to one of the institutions in the state. Very tough running back in Vashawn St. Hill. This young man is really dynamic. I spent some time talking with his father not too long ago, and they really have a work ethic in that family that is driven for performance. And I'm really impressed with them as a family as well as him as a player. Equally said, Stephen Gilmore Jr., his older brother, but yet his mother and father are such dynamic people. I've spent some time talking with them, outside of the game, and I see where he gets that coolness from. Mm-hmm. He's very calm and he's very cerebral, very long-rangey type kid. He can really get into you and knock balls down.
Learn from his brother.
He learned from his brother. I mean, he's really a dynamic kid. I've watched him in workouts, and I'm impressed with him. He's one I'd like to take back home with me.
Now, other teams I got, y'all got Spring Valley, y'all got Westwood. Knowing the rivalry between those two teams for y'all, I know Tyndall is one of the key players for Spring Valley, being looked at by South Carolina. Are you describing him as another T.J. Brunson?
I think that he would be number 2 in that list. I said that we would have 6 linebackers come out of this area. I'm putting Channing Tyndall as number 2.
Y'all know that's our 4-minute TikTok right there. So, but it's all good. We got a pre-program.
But I think that Channing Tyndall and Keandre Jones are really going to be leaders at that Spring Valley team. Coach Bacon does an excellent job with his program. And those guys really support him well, and they come in and they work very, very hard. So and Coach Curtis over there at Westwood, I mean, he's got he's got so many weapons. You really don't know how he's going to come at you. But Elijah Heatley is a young man that concerns me because of the Heatley family here in Columbia. They've all performed very, very well. His uncle was a very good linebacker, and Elijah's playing quarterback, and he was a baseball player. So Tyler Hosey, Bryce Harkness, those guys at Westwood, they're going to put some things up. And then you go and look at some of the 5 schools inside the city, like a W.J. Keenan. And
now Keenan's on the rise too.
Keenan is on the rise. I mean, you got guys like Chris Reed and DeMontre Smith, and then a guy we worked with, Zion Thurman. Zion's a tough guy.
Zion was the hope and coming to the freshman year. Now he's competing, in the prospects ranks now.
That young man does not believe that he's supposed to fail, and he's faced some adversity off the field, and I can only say that I tip my hat to him for the way that he's faced it. He's dealt with death in his family, but he has just weathered it, and he's staying here, and he receives all the coaching that he gets. Coach Gilly is really involved with those players over there. Coach Gilly's a rising coach.
Oh yeah.
I respect the way he comes to work, and he's going to produce some really good players from that program.
And I think that's a good thing because you need players on your team that is as determined, no matter what is going on, personal, mental, spiritually, all that good stuff. If he can manage that and still be the best person you can be,
right,
that says a lot for not just to you, but to other people as well. It's your determination to be a better player, not just in the present time, but also in the future.
Right.
It's all that energy into your play.
Oh yeah, because I know I had to learn that for myself when I was playing football. I always make a reference to myself. Because believe me, I was not as big as I am now. I was like maybe 170, 195.
As unbelievable as that may sound, viewers, that is actually true.
Hulk Diesel.
But due to vitamins and eating fried chicken and baked chicken,
there you
all
go,
that good stuff, and cornbread.
There you go.
Look at me now.
That's right.
If I had the chance to play now, I would. But hey, God had other stuff for me, so.
I'm glad I don't want the opportunity to play now. I'm done. If you hit me, I will fall.
I love what I do. I love.
Get back up.
I love teaching other players how to be not just be better football players, but at the same time being a better man.
Most definitely.
That's what's up.
And that could go for all sports. You could be, a better woman in life. You could do what you want to do. You could be a better man in life. You could do what you want to do. That's all up to the coaches as for what they teach.
Yep.
Over the course of their 4 years,
Yep.
And if you can be successful at that, then hey, you have accomplished something just for that one kid and hopefully for the other ones. Yeah.
The
Coach
greatest
Fields.
opportunity in the world is to work with the American youth.
Oh yeah, Coach Fields, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
We're gonna have you again soon. Opie, Chris with the K, and for me. Thank you for watching today's show.
For me.
Y'all next-
Peace. See you next week. Huh? You got last word.
Huh? Oh yeah, but that's, yeah. That's
No, I probably cut off. Like,
Everybody on Facebook Live, thank you for watching us.
bye.
As well. All right.
Like my picture. I'm just kidding.
We
I
off?
don't post any pictures.
We're not off. Oh, we're still on.
Oh, hi.
What's up, y'all?
Oh, we're still on. Still. Oh, we still
We
got
at the
time.
church.
All right, Coach Fields. Last words for Richmond Northeast.
Hey, come out and support Richland Northeast. We're going to do great things, and we need you in the stands to watch what we're doing.
And y'all have a home game at the high school this year.
Not this year. We
Oh.
don't. We don't.
Wow.
Nah, I don't think we were able to swing that this year. I think we're going to be over at Harry Perone, but we'll make good use of that stadium.
I'm pretty sure. We're looking forward for the season. Everything about Richmond Northeast football, make sure you visit their school website. If you have a student that goes there, or a son or a daughter, hey, great institution, so make sure you check them out. From all of us, we'll see you next Tuesday.
Catch y'all next
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Just for